you so much for that generous introduction. I so much appreciate you, ma'am. Thank you for eloquently introducing me and bringing me to stage. I kind of feel this is a setup. The organizer, my very good friend, Abdul Karim Adeiza, using my Oga to be the moderator of today's event, and then having these good things to say about me. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone on the call. I can see a lot of people on the call. People I respect so much. People of high pedigree. And I think what I've been called to do is just to midwife a conversation, because I know obviously all these powerful coaches, these champions, these powerful guys are not here to learn from me, except I share with them part of my story and things that have worked for me. So thank you so much. So today we are going to be talking about goal setting. But before I delve into that conversation, I have a quick poll I want to do. Adeiza, thank you for this opportunity to lead this conversation for the next 20 minutes. So for the 24 persons that we have on the call, let's say we have admin and we have 20 people. So if you have a goal for 2023, if you have a goal 2023, but you didn't write it down, but you have a goal for 2023, or you have goals for 2023, please type 1. So if you have a goal and you wrote it down somewhere, your goal for 2023, you had a goal and you wrote it down somewhere, please type 2. Then if you didn't have a goal for 2023, type 3. So you had a goal, you didn't write it down, type 1. You had a goal and you wrote it down, type 2. If you did not have a goal, it's not a crime not to have a goal. People have reasons for not having goals. So type 3. I can see 1s, I can see 2s. I'm looking for 3. All right. Okay. No. I'm not asking for 2024. I'm asking for 2023. That we are, we're behind 2023 next 2-3 days. So for this year, did you have a goal? 1, you had a goal and you wrote it down. 2, you didn't have a goal. 3. Excellent. So I think majority of us have a goal. Some of us have a goal and we wrote it down. So, and that is why we are going to be discussing about goal setting and how to actually do it properly. Next slide, please. Excellent. So let me do a caveat for the title of my conversation that I titled 7 Commandments. So I think I'm very famous for coming up with commandments. Most of the time I've been doing 10 commandments. So apologies to people that are not non-Christian friends of mine. They know I'm very liberal, so I'm not trying to enforce anything. So but I just like to make my speech memorable. So I remember when I wrote my first book in 2011, August 2011, I titled the book Peak Performance Capsules. And I used a speech that I titled The 10 Commandments of Academic Excellence to elevate and promote this book. I went to 10 secondary schools in Elisha in Osun State, and I delivered this speech on 10 Commandments of Academic Excellence. 2011 to now, that's about 12 years, going to 13 years. So most of the kids are actually university graduates now, because in the secondary school, we focused only on SS2 and SS3 pupils. Those are the people that I spoke to on 10 Commandments of Academic Excellence. Most of them have their lives changed. I remember a couple of them who listened to these 10 Commandments of Academic Excellence, and then something shifted in them, and then they are doing very fine. They are graduated with honors. So I have a feeling that by the time I'm done with these 7 commandments, somebody's life, career, business will take a shift, and then you do something better. So in 2008, that was the first time I learned about the art of goal setting. I bought this book at that time, 1,350. I have the hard copy. I'm eyeballing it right now. And I read the book by Brian Tracy on goals. Since that time, since 2008, I've been setting goals. I've not turned back from setting goals. But one thing that struck me from the book was that the way it started, he said success is goals and every other thing is commentary. So in essence, the summary of success is actually the achievement of goals. So if you have your goal, you're on the path to success. If you don't have a goal, it's just like you watching a football match and then you don't, there's no goal post. It will be boring. That won't be something for you to measure with. So, and I also have some friends from the Quantive School of Business on this call. They are my colleagues. Some of them had reached out to me, and I said I was going to talk a bit about my executive MBA journey. I got a full scholarship sometimes late last year for an executive MBA in Quantive School of Business. And I told myself that beyond the knowledge that I'm going to gain, that I want to make honors. Please, next slide. Next slide. Excellent. So one of my goals for 2023, and listen to me the way I wrote the goal. I said, I completed my executive MBA program with honors, 99% by 16th December 2023. That was how I actually couched my goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to brag and to let you know that I actually came out with honors. Even though I didn't meet the 99% target I set for myself, I met 98.2% when I requested for my transcript 2 days ago. So I'm going to be telling you how with goal setting. I had 10 goals for 2023. I scored all my goals for 2023, and I'm going to be sharing with you the things I did that made me to be able to achieve this goal. This is not the first time I'm achieving my goals. I've been setting goals, and I think I've been able to master the art of goal setting because I've been doing it for quite a while, since 2008. And that is why I'm going to be delving into, but before I go there, let us talk about the 6 reasons why it is important for us to set goals. Why we need to set goals. Next slide. So in case you're on this call and then you are still thinking, why should I set goal? Why is it important? So there are 6 things that I've learned from Brian Tracy why we need to set goals. The first one is that when you have a goal, you are focused. So I knew that part of the thing I was going to do in 2023 was to study my EMBA materials and then to score some grades before I can be a part. Before you can be a part of before you can graduate with honors, you need to be ranked as part of the top 10%. So for my cohorts, there were 204 candidates for the MBA program, and then I needed to be part of the first 20. So for me to get honors, I need to rank the first 20. So I had that focus. So without personal goals and professional goals, your efforts can be somewhat disjointed or not focused. You can even lose sight. So if you have goals, you will have focus. The second thing is that you'll be able to measure your progress. So for example, I did maybe 15 courses. By the time I was done with my first course, okay, great. I knew what I scored. Maybe I scored 100% or 99%. I knew in my heart of hearts that I'm on track. So it is when you have a goal that you are going to be able to measure your progress. Either you're on track or you are off track. The third thing is that when you have a goal, you are always motivated. There's something that is always pushing you. For example, this year, I told myself that I was going to deliver not less than 20 speeches. I belong to a public speaking and leadership community, Toastmasters International. I had this goal at the beginning of the year. I would deliver not less than 20 speeches. So when I'm going to any meeting, I'm going prepared, because even if I'm not speaking that day, I have a speech in case I'm called upon to speak. I look for opportunities for meetings so that I can speak. So when people see me, they like the kind of energy I exude. Why? Because there's a goal I'm pursuing. So I'm always motivated to achieve the goal. So I've discovered that one of the things that actually make me positive is when I achieve or score my goals. The fourth thing is that it helps you to beat procrastination. Because I have a deadline in my goal, I can't afford to postpone. So if I'm to do a particular stuff, for example, for the MBA program, there are timelines. If you don't submit your assignment before or do your exam by some timelines, you will not be on the honors list. And because I want to be on the honors list, I need to stretch myself to ensure that I complete my assignments when I'm supposed to complete them. For example, my goal was to have completed my entire stuff by 16th of December, whereas our graduation date was 26th. So I have a deadline that was even 10 days before the graduation deadline. So I can't afford to procrastinate because I have a goal that I'm pursuing in mind. Then also, when you have a goal, you're able to achieve more. When you set a goal and you reach the goal, there is that confidence in you to set a higher and a tougher goal, because you like the taste of victory. So you want to actually have that taste of victory again and again. I've already set my 2024 goals. I don't have a choice because I loved what I accomplished in 2023. So I've set other bigger goals that I want to achieve in 2024. Also, when you have a goal, goal setting helps you to determine what you really want in life. The heart of goal setting forces you to ruminate and contemplate. What is it that you truly want out of life? Do you want purpose, fulfillment, excellence, impact? So that is what goal settings does to you. So I move into the meat or the core of the message, which is the 7 commandments. So I asked a question at the beginning. If you had a goal and you didn't write it down, that you should say 1. You should type 1. If you have a goal and you wrote it down somewhere, you should type 2. If you do not have a goal at all, that you should type 3. Let's go to the first commandment. So the first commandment of goal setting is the first one. No, go back to the first one. The first one, write it down. So that's the first one. The first one after the 6th commandment, the 6th reason for setting goal. No, you go back. So excellent. So the first one, yeah, is after this picture. Thank you. So your first commandment is that you need to write down your goals. Let me tell you something. Any goal that you did not write down is not a goal. It has not met the definition of a goal. Any goals not written down is a mere wish. So those people that answered 1, that was not a goal. That was just a wish you had in your mind. A research from Harvard said only 3% of adults have their goals written down. And then majority actually work for this 3% of people that have their goals written down. So you must write down your goals. I can tell you categorically and confidently that since 2008, I have always written down my goal. I will now type it and I will paste it somewhere that can remind me every day. I put it in such a way that I always paste it where I dress up in the morning. So that as I'm dressing up for work, or as I'm dressing up to go out, I'm being reminded of my goal for the year. I'm not going to go into the semantics of long-term goal, mid-term goal, or short-term goal. I have a very short time, but I'm going to be telling us how we can make 2024 to be fulfilling. Let us start first with an annual goal. So have a goal, not just in your mind, which is a wish. You need to write down your goals. When you write down your goals, you are making your goal to come to reality for the very first time. Because the first time where it existed was in your mind, but by the time you are writing it down, you are bringing it from the realms of the invincible to the realms of the visible. So I want somebody to type it. I know you can see it. Write down your goals. Let's see that in the chat box. Write down your goals. Is it coming up? Write down your goals. Excellent. I need 4 people to type it down. Excellent. Great, 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 great. I can see it. So in case you have your goal for 2024 and you have not written it down, after this call, I implore you to go and write down your goals. When I write down my goals, I make sure that my goals cut across. So I set goals for my health. I set goals for my physical well-being. I set goals for my finances. I set goals for my personal development. So for example, this year, I said I was going to read 3 books. And I read those 3 books. I told myself I was going to save a particular amount of money. I ended up saving the money. Because I knew I had a savings goal, I needed to look for opportunities to save. Because I've tried it previously. When I put it in some bank accounts, I would be tempted to go and bring it out. But this year, I decided to do a mutual fund. And then there's an amount every month that I set apart. And by the time I got my statement today, I've met my annual goal. So your goal is to cut across your career, your personal development, your health, your finances, every area. One of my goals for this year was for me to earn a particular amount of money. And I knew that if I'm in my present job in 2023, I will not be able to meet up with that goal. So in a way, that means I need to change my job or have a side hustle. So I'm not surprised that I'm not ending 2023 with the same job I started in 2023. Why? Because I had a financial goal that I needed to meet. And that actually prompted me to look for another job that can actually meet that financial goal. And voila, I met that goal. So the first step is for you to write down your goal. You know, there's something I always tell people, that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you see is what you get. Who you see is who you become. So your goals must be in writing. They must be very clear. They must be specific. They must be detailed. And they must be measurable. And that takes us to the second commandment of goal setting. The first one is to write down your goal. The second one is for you to make sure that your goals are SMART. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And I'm going to be taking you back to the goal I set for myself for the Executive MBA. So listen very well. I said I wanted to complete that by December 16, 2023, that I will have completed my Executive MBA program with honors. Score a 99%. So ladies and gentlemen, my goal number 2 was specific to Executive MBA program. How can I measure it? What will my score be? With what? With honors. So I was targeting 99%. And then I developed a tracker to help me know what I'm scoring in every of the tests, which we call SMART cases, in every of the projects, and in every of the courses that we write the exams. So I was able to track because this is measurable. You can see if I'm on track to 99% or not. Is it achievable? Yes, it's achievable because by the time I entered 2023, I had an admission into the Executive MBA program. So I knew that I will not have any constraints. My destiny is in my hand because I already have the admission. Is it relevant? Yes, it's relevant because I'm taking this course already. Is it timely? Yes, it's timely because the program is meant to end by 26th of December, but my goal says I needed to complete everything by 16th of December 2023. And the result is evidence for everyone on this call and even outside of this call to see. So the first one is write down your goals. The second one is to ensure that your goal is specific, is measurable, is achievable, is relevant, is timely. You remember that I did not, or you notice I did not say to graduate from my MBA program. No, because if I graduate in the next 4 years, that means I still graduate. But I was specific on the dates. I wanted to complete all requirements and graduate. I was specific on the kind of result I wanted to get. I was specific on the kind of things I needed to do. So your goal needs to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. The third commandment is just taken from the last point in commandment number 2. Your goals must have a deadline. Let's go there. Excellent. So just like we can also define goals as a dream with a deadline. So your goals need to have a deadline. You know, there's a way. Have you ever wondered that when they give you an assignment or you have a deliverable, you might not be able to do it as fast as possible until the deadline is approaching. If you have felt that hurt before, that you're able to do what you couldn't do in a long time, but you're able to complete it just some hours before the deadline. Say hi in the chat box. I want to know if someone have actually felt that particular emotion, that just few hours of deadline, you're able to complete that particular assignment, no matter how tough and how hard it was. Okay, I've experienced this several times. So that's why you need to actually do it by yourself. When you are setting your goals, put a deadline. Because when you put a deadline, that's when you'll be able to know by yourself if you are on track and if you are doing well. So I always believe that there are no unreasonable goals, only unreasonable deadline. So for example now, if I told myself that I was going to finish that my MBA program in June 2023, well, June 2023, even if I completed the courses, the exams will not be available for me to do unless it's according to the different schedule. So, you know, there's a schedule for the program. So maybe you do like a course every 1 month, or you do like a course every 3 weeks. So it's not possible for me to finish the program in 6 months. That's an unreasonable deadline. But I gave myself a deadline that was just 10 days to the graduation date, which actually aligns with the schedule of the schedule of the program. So for example, I told myself that by 30th of October, that will have achieved a particular financial goal. And you know that I resumed a new job on the 7th of October, 2023. Why? Because it's in alignment with my goal. So what I had to do, I will tell you when we get to the action point. The next one, let's go. So there is also a psychology that is attached to goal setting. So the psychology is that we always encourage you that whenever you are setting a goal, ensure that your goal is positive, present tense, and in first person. Let your goal be personal to you. So when I'm setting my goal, I use the words like I, which I also always follow with an action verb. So I completed. So when you're setting your goal, ensure that you personalize goals to yourself. Ensure that your goal is positive. Ensure that your goal is as if you have achieved the goal. So for example, when I was setting a goal for a particular amount of money I wanted to earn, so I said I earn a particular amount of money, so. So if you are here and you want to get a new car for yourself, maybe the way you couch it, that will actually follow this principle and this commandment of positive personal present tense. So if your goal is to get a new car, what you will say is that I drive a Mercedes-Benz G-Class so by so dates in so place. So you need to be mindful of the words, because couch it in such a way that when you are looking at it every day, when you are reading it, let the wordings of your goal inspire you. Let it be able to inspire you and inspire something inside of you. Then let's go to the next goal. This one is where the hard work is, the next commandment. Yeah, the next commandment. That is where the hard work is. It is a bit word, and it's the hard work. So I would encourage everyone on this call to get a notebook or a notepad. I have my notepads with me. So let me show you my notepad I always use. Okay. Okay, it's not showing. Great. So I always have a notepad. So what you do with the notepad is that you need to discipline yourself to write your goals every day without reviewing the original list until you become convinced that you can achieve this goal. So for example, I told you that my goal number 2 is to graduate from an MBA with honors. My first goal is a spiritual goal. My second goal, that is my second goal. My third goal is to achieve a particular amount of financial status, which I got by changing my job. So you need to internalize your goals by writing it down at least the first 1 month of the year, every singular day. When you wake up in the morning, after your meditation, try and rewrite those goals without looking at the original list that you pasted. By the time you do it for 4 days, you will find out that your goals will be rearranged. The most important ones will be the one that will come to your mind. And before you know it, after like 7 days, you begin to write them in a particular order. Before you know it, you will have internalized your 10 or your 7 or your 5 goals for that particular year. So everybody, one thing I want you also do as an action point from this call is to have a notepad, a booklet, where you can rewrite your goals every day, right from January 1st to at least January 30. By the time you do it for 30 days, you will have internalized. Someone said, if you want to build a new habit, what you do with a new habit, once you've done something for 21 days, that stuff will register with you and will become a lifelong habit. 21 days is enough for you to form a new habit. So learn to write your goals and ensure you do it every singular day in January 2024 by writing all your goals without reviewing the original list. If you forget any of the goals, you are permitted to go to your master list, maybe the first 3-4 days. But I think after the first 4 days, you don't need to revisit the goal. The next, the 6th commandment, with is okay, you need to have an action plan for achieving your goals. So let me be practical here. So what I did, for example, I knew that I needed to achieve a particular financial goal in 2023. I asked myself, how can I do it if I change my job? So how can I change my job? I told myself, that means I need to apply. And then I told myself, then I need to apply for the kind of job I want, at least 4 job applications every week. By the time I was done in January, I already applied for 16 jobs. And I maintained the tempo of applying for at least 4 jobs by the time we got to June, I'd already taken 1 or 2 interviews. And by the time we entered July, I already had a new offer that looked like the dream job that I wanted. By the time we entered October, I'd already secured or resumed in the new job. Another thing that I did for Action Point was to get a list of all the courses I was going to take in my MBA. And then I looked at the courses and I gave myself my target score. I have a tracker. And I listed all the courses. There were 9 major courses we're going to do. And then we're required to do 3 specialization courses. And then I gave myself my proposed score. That my proposed score, I made sure that the average percentage landed in 99%, which I needed to be a part of the top 10% of students. And by the time I was done the first course, I imputed my actual with my expected. By the time I was done with the second one, I imputed my actual score with my expected. And I was able to track, how am I doing? Am I on course? So that is the action point, the action plan that you need to have. I told you about what I did as an action point for my EMBA program. And I'm telling you what I've done to achieve the financial status by changing a job, of how I needed to apply for multiple opportunities every month until I did interviews in May, in June, until I secured the job in July, until I landed a new job and resumed in October. So you need to have an action point. You need to have an action plan. So one of the action points I've been able to gather from this call is that if you have not been writing your goal before, please try and write your goals down. Then don't just write your goals down. Ensure that you rewrite your goal on a daily basis. Before I move to the last part of the goal, of the commandment, can we, I need somebody on the chat box to remind me, what are the first six commandments that I've mentioned? What are the first 6 commandments? I want to know if people are following me or I'm on a stroll. So what is the first commandment? What's the second commandment? So whichever one remember, please put the right label on it. So write down your goal is the first one. Excellent. Thank you, Fatima. Fatima was my colleague years back. She's now a big boss now. Excellent. I have my big boss here, Abu Said Buhari. Welcome. Thank you. Excellent. My madam at the top said, make it smart. That's commandment number 2. Let's go. Commandment number 3 by Beams. The goals must have deadline. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, admin. Thank you. For Ayokule, goal number, okay, I'm looking for goal number 4. What is goal number 4? So goal number 5 is to rewrite your goal daily. Goal number 5 is to rewrite your goal daily. That was when I asked us to get, I asked us that we should ensure that we get a notepad that will help us to, okay, goal number 4. Thank you so much. That your goal needs to be positive, personalized, and in present tense. Excellent. Thank you so much. I see a lot of people actually taking, they're taking notes. So the last but not the least of the commandment for goal setting is actually one of the most important part of it, is that you need to visualize achieving your goals. Visualization is the most powerful faculty that God has given human being. So you need to see your goal achieved in your mind. So, but when you're writing it, ensure that your goal is clear, is exciting, that your goal is something that will inspire you and will make you to be very enthusiastic. So then imagine yourself that how will it feel when you achieve this your goal? I actually savored the moments that I would say that I graduated with honors in my MBA program. I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but when you exude that, there's a way it works on your brand and there's a way it works on your personal perception. So I'd always imagine and envision it. So any goal that you have written for yourself, I want you to visualize achievement of a goal. I want you to emotionalize your goal. I want you to be positive about your goal. I want you to desire the achievement of that goal, because when you achieve your goal, it is not about the achievement of that goal. It is actually about the person you become in the process of achieving that goal. Don't forget that I said that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Nobody that can make it happen for you. You are the one that will make it happen for yourself. And the first point for you to bring in your goal from the invisible realm to the visible realm is for you to write it down, develop an action plan, ensure that you pursue your goal and remain focused. I think that will make the end of this conversation, because I know that will be question and answer. Thank you for having me. I know I've been a very boring speaker, but I think I've been able to pass across the message, and people have gained one or two things from this conversation. Let me hand over to the moderator. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening, for not hanging up on me. Over to you, Mom.
Thank you very much.